2024 Urbandale City Council meeting. I will call the meeting to order and ask Nicole to take roll call, please.
Carberry Montgomery.
Here.
Kroll.
Here.
Rosendahl.
Here.
McBurney.
Here.
Please stand as you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Urbandale is a national leader in character counts, endeavoring at all times to promote and model the principles of trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. In conducting tonight's meeting, we expect that all participants will act in a respectful manner consistent with these principles. Item 2 is to approve the agenda. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Kroll, second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. It passes. Yep, that passes. Thank you. Item 3, presentations. We have one presentation regarding the Sustainable Urbandale Action Plan, and I'm going to turn it over to John Coynier to introduce this. John?
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry to make sure the mic was on. About a year ago, I sat up where you're sitting at the section now and talked with Professor Haddad from ISU about could students come down and look at Urbandale and come up with a climate or sustainable action plan? And we decided, why not give it a go and give it a shot? And so through the last 7.5 months, ISU has engaged residents, businesses, and you all elected officials and staff to try to come up with what could we do to be more sustainable. And I won't steal their thunder. The report was in your council packet. It also will be online after this, so residents can go out there and view it. It will be our starting point. It will be a document that we can take, dust off, and use. And so with that, I will turn the floor to Professor Haddad from ISU to introduce the students who will walk you through the plan tonight. Professor Haddad.
Thank you, John. So my name is Monica Haddad, and I am a professor of community and regional planning at Iowa State University. As John said, in the spring of 2024, I was teaching the community planning studio, and so I am the teacher behind the work that the students did, but I will let them share their work with you today. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
So hi everyone. So again, we are from the Community Planning Studio from Iowa State University, and we're going to talk about that Sustainable Urbandale Action Plan today. But first, some introductions. My name is Kristen Haas.
I'm Lindsay Wilson.
I'm Sophia Webking.
And I'm Greenlee Dahl.
So the Sustainable Urbandale Action Plan is a project that was started back in January of 2024 and has just been finished this month. This plan has been developed over the course of 9 months by the Community Planning Studio from ISU, and it focuses on addressing issues related to decreasing fossil fuel use, diminishing greenhouse gas emissions, and combating urban sprawl. Over the spring semester, our studio spent 11 hours a week in class working on and developing this plan, and we are very excited to present it to you guys today. So first, we want to acknowledge the partnerships that has helped us through this planning process. Mid-American helped us a lot to learn and understand the existing energy sources and usages in Urbandale. Embark and UCAN are non-governmental organizations that helped us reach the refugee and immigrant population here in Urbandale. And of course, we couldn't have done this without the help and communication from the planners and employees that work for the city of Urbandale. So to start off, the inspiration behind the Sustainable Urbandale Action Plan, or we'll refer to it as the SUOP, came from Urbandale's previously created sustainability statement, which is shown here on the screen. And with key phrases in the statement like environmentally sustainable, natural resource stewardship, inclusive community, and strong labor force, our plan aimed to focus on those topics and further enhance those components of Urbandale. So the 4 sustainable development codes shown on the screen were the main focus of the plan and the information and ideas included in it. When the community planning studio first met with John and city employees, we were told that the promotion of renewable energy incentives, net zero energy buildings, and the encouragement of infill development needed to be a part of this plan. The community planning studio then later added in the density bonus for installation of solar energy panels code, as it is also an important topic that we wanted to be incorporated into this plan. It is these 4 sustainable development codes that make up the topics that are in this plan that we're going to talk about more today. So during the planning process of this plan, a lot had to do with community engagement. The first 2 events were the Chamber of Commerce event and the library event. The community planning studio brought posters that covered information on the topics shown on the screen. And during those events, attendees were given green, yellow, and red dots so that we could visually see their responses to the potential plan and the ideas in it. So the green dots were placed if they liked an idea, and the red dots were placed if they didn't want to see that type of idea be implemented in Urbandale. So because of these events, it allowed the community feedback and input to be heard and implemented into the final plan that we're presenting today. We also had a focus group event with the partnership of the 2 non-government organizations that I mentioned earlier. With their help, we were able to talk to refugees and immigrants to get their experiences and perceptions of Urbandale. So thanks to these organizations, we were able to meet with attendees from Mexico, Burma, and Iraq. It allowed for them to have their suggestions to be heard and implemented into the plan. We really wanted to make sure that a larger demographic and population of Urbandale was reached and had a say in what was included into the plan. Another important aspect of the planning process was our travel days. To fully understand net zero energy buildings, we visited one in Des Moines located on Ingersoll Avenue. It is Iowa's first zero carbon certified building. It is a 3-story mixed use development with commercial purposes on the first floor and then affordable housing on the top 2 floors. And this was an important day that allowed us to really understand what goes into constructing and developing a net zero energy building, which is a building that produces the same amount of energy that it consumes. We also visited Iowa City because they are a pioneer of sustainable practices with one of the oldest climate action plans created in Iowa in 2018. We really wanted to learn from them and how they implemented the plan, the challenges they faced, what problems occurred, and how they overcame those obstacles. One place that we visited while in Iowa City was their bike library. This bike library is a community hub that has a lot of resources for the community and its residents and prioritizes inclusivity for minority communities. With the help of the human-computer interaction team from Iowa State University, we were also able to create a video game that aligned with this plan and had similar themes in it, like renewable energy, net zero energy buildings, and infill development. We did this in order to increase awareness, especially in the younger population of Urbandale. And this way they could learn about these topics in a fun and interactive way. And this game is actually now available for everyone as well. So some of the later events that were held was the scenario presentation, which allowed us to present scenarios based on feedback from the previous community engagement events. There were 3 visions that were shared at the event. They included green prosperity, smart growth, conservation, and ecosystems. Each of these visions had a correlating goal and 3 sub-pillar scenarios. Attendees were again given 2 green and red dots so that their public opinion could be seen and taken into account. On May 1st, we had our plan presentation where we presented 1 action from each of the 10 goals, and the residents who attended were encouraged to ask questions or leave comments that could be included into our final plan. After these events, the 3 visions from the scenario presentation and the community feedback that we received throughout the semester were combined to create 1 vision statement for this plan, which is that the city of Urbandale is an innovator in low-carbon solutions across central Iowa. Urbandale members prioritize the environment while being mindful of resources, fostering a community where people and nature thrive. A huge part of the SUOP and the planning process was integrating equity and justice throughout it. We made sure that each goal and each action had an equity and justice component to it. So when we talk about these equity and justice components, we refer to the map that's shown on the screen a lot. This shows the Social Vulnerability Index, or the SVI, which varies from a 0 to 1, 0 being very low vulnerability and 1 being very high vulnerability. There were 8 selected variables that were used to create this index in this map shown above, and this was gathered from literature on social vulnerability and climate change. So the plan is structured as shown on the screen, starts with stating the goal and then talks about the UN Sustainable Development Goals that goes with it, the Sustainable Development Codes, co-benefits, and city assets. The city assets are already within Urbandale, which can help progress the implementation of the various actions that we'll talk about today. Then with each goal, it contains multiple correlating actions. Each action contains funding opportunities, community engagement, equity and justice components, and a way to monitor the success of these actions, along with if it's a short-term, mid-term, or long-term action. And then some of these actions also have case studies from other cities that we learned from. And like I said earlier, there are 10 goals, each containing multiple actions. So there is 1 goal relating to people, 2 goals relating to renewable energy, 2 goals relating to net zero energy buildings, and then 5 goals relating to infill development. So now moving on to these goals and actions. The first one is the people goal. So this goal overall talks about raising awareness and increasing education about sustainable practices and about low carbon solutions. It wants to engage directly with the residents of Urbandale, as it's a crucial aspect of furthering sustainability at the community level. Action A3 is one action I want to specifically talk about, which wants to develop a green business incubator with the help of organizations in Urbandale and near Urbandale. So a green business incubator provides services, access to resources, networking opportunities, education, training, and access to funding to help different businesses nurture the development of environmental sustainable business practices. And so the image on the screen highlights potential areas in Urbandale where a green business incubator could be located, and those areas are shown in the purple and blue colors.
So the next chapter in the plan is renewable energy. Urbandale is rapidly growing, increasing the demand for energy. To balance this growth and create a more resilient future, the city should invest in renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and geothermal. These sources reduce carbon emissions and support localized energy production, promoting sustainability and the workforce. In 2020, Urbandale produced over 500,000 metric tons of CO2 emissions. By adopting innovative, energy-efficient technologies and collaborating with local stakeholders, Urbandale aims to cut its carbon footprint, achieve energy independence, and enhance community well-being through sustainable economic growth and a resilient energy infrastructure. One of the actions from this chapter is to provide density bonuses for sites that include solar on the building or the property, and there's a little blurb on the screen that describes what a density bonus is, but essentially it's an incentive for developers to meet public policy goals such as renewable energy. Another goal from this chapter is to reduce the fossil fuel usage for all buildings' energy consumption, including residential, commercial, mixed use, industrial. One of the actions from this is to implement a geothermal heating and cooling district. So Urbandale is negatively impacted by greenhouse gases, which can affect utility bills and homes' ability to withstand changing weather. Implementing energy-efficient actions can help residents experience smaller energy variations, lowering utility costs, and promoting renewable energy sources. Geothermal energy, derived from Earth's heat, is used for power generation and heating. Geothermal districts use wells, piping, and pumps to transfer heat, warming buildings in winter and cooling them in summer. This scalable, emission-free process reduces the need for fossil fuels and greenhouse gas emissions by replacing traditional HVAC systems with a carbon-free alternative, benefiting multiple buildings connected to the same system. Within the same goal of reducing fossil fuel usage, an idea we had was to replace all city-owned lights with LEDs for greater energy efficiency. This action focuses on street lighting as it helps public well-being and creates a sense of safety. Therefore, streetlights are a necessary part of the urban landscape and should be consistently functional at dark hours. Converting incandescent streetlights into LEDs improves the overall efficiency of streetlights, resulting in less energy usage and less maintenance costs. By switching to energy efficiency bulbs, money allocated for streetlight maintenance and upkeep can be redirected to other actions. In 2019, Cleveland began upgrading over 61,000 streetlights to LED technology under the Safe Smart program. By February of 2021, 90% of the lights were upgraded, improving visibility and safety, reducing maintenance costs, and reducing energy consumption.
The next chapter is the Net Zero Energy Building chapter. And as mentioned before, net zero energy buildings produce as much renewable energy as they consume, achieving an equal balance between production and usage each year. Our main goal for this is ensuring new commercial, industrial, and residential buildings maximize their energy efficiency through weatherization. Weatherization is the act of protecting a building against adverse weather impacts such as cold, wind, or rain. The main part of this is minimizing air leakage, and this is stopping heat from escaping or entering a building. One action with this is implement an efficiency standard for all new construction covering insulation, lighting, appliance, and power generation offset. To the right, you can see a graph. This graph is the energy of existing fixtures compared to energy efficient retrofitted features. And as you can see, the retrofitted features have produced a lot less CO2 emissions compared to the conventional features. Along with this weatherization goal is encourage all homeowners to prioritize attic insulation with audits. And these audits go into the attic, as the attic's the main way where you're losing heat through your house. And as you can see to the right is a result of a feasibility question on net zero energy buildings that we asked during our community engagement events. And as you can see, 25% of the population that attended found that net zero energy buildings were very feasible, and 59% of them found that it was feasible. The second goal of the Net Zero Energy Building chapter is retrofit existing buildings to reduce energy consumption. Retrofitting is the process of installing new energy efficient appliances, technology, or features to older systems that transition them closer to net zero energy buildings. Our action with this goal is implement a light bulb swap program to reduce the usage of older light bulbs. In the graph to the right, you can see the energy consumption of a building before retrofitting and after retrofitting. And as you can see, the retrofitted building consumes a lot less than conventional buildings. Along with goal E, we have another action that is identify business owners and homeowners who have changed their source of energy to renewable sources and create a video with them to share success stories. And to the right, you see an image, and this is a net zero energy house in Iowa City. And we were shown this video during our trip to Iowa City, and it basically is a real house that an elderly woman lives in, and it's a LEED Platinum certified home, and this is a YouTube video that's posted on YouTube, and as well as their city channel to show success stories of net zero energy homes within Iowa City.
Urbandale strives to be a leader in solutions that support efficient urban growth and land development processes. Urbandale has experienced significant development. Since 2000, the city has seen an 83% increase in urbanized areas indicating a clear trend of urban sprawl. Urbanization increases the impervious surface cover in communities. Impervious surfaces like asphalt, concrete, and brick prevent rainwater from entering the soil, leading to increased runoff and flooding. They also intensify the urban heat island effect. Nature-based solutions leverage the ecosystem's processes and functions to restore environments and benefit residents by improving quality of life. Permeable surfaces can be manufactured or naturally occurring. They allow water to pass through or be absorbed. These surfaces are solutions to stormwater management, especially when implemented with other sustainable practices. The map on the right shows the impervious surface concentration in Urbandale. The City of Urbandale focuses on sustainable infill development to revive underutilized areas. By promoting conservation, diversifying land use, and refining zoning regulations, Urbandale seeks to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and urban sprawl. Ecosystem services are the direct and indirect benefits that humans receive from the natural environment, such as providing food, clean air and water, green space, maintaining biodiversity, and regulating human-induced climate impacts. Reducing parking minimums is a way to densify and promote infill development. And in the areas that would have been used for parking lots, encourage the addition of green spaces for residents and patrons to use. These spaces can attract business, reduce the urban heat island effect, reduce air pollution, and increase awareness of the relationship between natural and built environments. The image on the screen is taken from Urbandale's comprehensive plan, which shows the benefits that can come with reducing even a few parking spaces from a lot and how it can be converted into either green space or a common space for people to just hang out.
As previously mentioned, Urbandale is growing and expanding. It is important when we plan for this growth that we grow in a way that is resident-focused. Our goal to help achieve these strategies is to increase access to walking and biking infrastructure to reduce carbon emissions. Our action to help achieve this goal is to enhance pathway infrastructure by repairing uneven surfaces and removing debris. Urbandale's bike score is 38, and its walk score is 32 out of 100. The walk and bike score is calculated by analyzing hundreds of walking and biking routes to nearby amenities within the region. Points are added to the score based on the distance to the amenities. The walkability score shows that on a national scale, Urbandale has low bike and walk scores. The walkability map assesses the availability of walking and biking infrastructure, identifying disjointed areas that lack easily accessible routes to amenities. The light blue and green portions of the map show regions of Urbandale that are more accommodating to walking and biking areas, like downtown and shopping areas. But as we can see, the shading in the eastern section, or in the western portion, is lighter or not shown, meaning that it is less connected to amenities. These overall scores are influenced by the fragmented paths throughout the city and the lack of connectivity between East and West Urbandale, indicating that the region is very car dependent. To amplify Urbandale's connectivity, the city should prioritize maintaining current and future pathways to preserve trail infrastructure and to ensure safety and accessibility for all residents. Our next goal, or our next action to help achieve our goal, is to implement bike and pedestrian-focused projects in high-demand areas identified within the Complete Streets Master Plan. This map highlights the areas in which there is demand for walking and biking within Urbandale. The blue areas are identified as high demand and is seen in both the western and eastern sides of Urbandale. The city should prioritize trail implementation in high-demand areas to meet and support residential needs. To continue the support of the Complete Streets Plan, the city should prioritize trail implementation in high-demand areas to meet and support residential needs. Moving into food access, our goal is to improve access to nutritious, affordable, and culturally desirable food for all. Our action to help achieve this goal is to establish community gardens in vacant lots and public spaces. This action is intended to promote the possible open spaces within Urbandale's urban areas for community garden projects. This map shows agricultural land, which is highlighted in green, and identified open areas, which is shown in light blue. The light blue areas are predominantly found on the eastern side of the city, which are previously mentioned in higher areas of connectivity, meaning these spaces would be more accessible for residents. The benefits of these community gardens are needed in Urbandale to enhance social cohesion, nutrition, and physical activity throughout the area. To further increase food access, our action to help achieve this would be creating a local farmers market, this action identifies the pedestrian plaza, recommended in the Douglas Avenue East Area Focus Plan, as a prime location for a farmers market. Visualized in the figure, this large, unused, and open space is perfectly situated for community enrichment and can become a pedestrian hotspot. Urbandale can foster partnerships and take inspiration from existing farmers markets in the greater Des Moines metropolitan area. This action would provide Urbandale an ideal space for community gatherings, promoting the availability of nutritious, affordable, and culturally desired food.
So our last goal in action here today is the land use development action, which focuses on ways to address carbon emissions and a lack of pedestrian mobility. The actions in this chapter promote affordable mixed-use housing developments with transit-oriented mobility. So Goal J wants to promote land use development patterns to improve the utilization of assets in the built environment. One important action to note is action J5, which is to increase the development of affordable housing in Urbandale. The image shows potential affordable housing locations that would be along DART routes. This ensures that affordable housing is accessible to public transportation that can help them access essential services, employment opportunities, and foster a more inclusive city environment while decreasing the need for a personal vehicle.
Next is our implementation matrix. So the implementation matrix will help provide the city with a guide in the implementation process showing priorities based on their score. So our methodology is we found this idea from the 2023 Green Cincinnati Plan, and we learned from it. We took all of our community engagement responses, took all the counts of the stickers on the posters, and then all the responses from the surveys. We then weighted the categories and the type of action it was, and then we created long-term, short-term, and medium-term goals. And so, for example, a short-term one is implement a light bulb swap program to reduce the usage of older light bulbs, and that had a score of 0.525. And then an example of our midterm actions is partner with other organizations to develop a green business incubator, and that had a score of 0.125. And then an example of a long-term is provide density bonuses for sites that include solar on their building or property, and that had a score of 8.75. And that is it, and we would like to thank everybody who has helped us along the way.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions from the council?
Hi, this is Bridget. I just wanted to say thank you so much. As a former planning student, I've been in your shoes presenting to the scary Cedar Rapids City Council, and you guys did an amazing job, and I think you've really given us something to work with, and I really appreciate it, and you guys should be really proud of the work that you did.
All right, thank you, Bridget. Anyone else? Any comments, questions? Blake?
I'll echo Bridget. Thank you for putting this together. A very comprehensive document, so it's going to be a good reading material for many days to come. One thing I wanted to ask about was when you had the vulnerability indexes up there, the lines in the different areas, is that like census areas, or basically what defines the bounds of each of those boxes?
Yeah, it was by census tract, and we got the data from the Census Bureau.
And then with the walkability score, like to create basically a hub that you could then trace scores off of. Is there kind of a guide for like generally what mix of amenities would qualify as that hub?
Well, the Walk Score is a commonly used platform to measure walkability. It's a website that's accessible for all. You could look it up right now. And more or less amenities can include anything from shopping to grocery stores to childcare to schools. A hub, like identified within the East Area Focus Plan along Douglas Avenue, where you guys have the main shopping area, that is more or less considered a walkable area because people are able to go from, Ryman Music to TJ Maxx or something. So along those lines.
Thank you.
So referencing back to the walkability and biking score, I noticed on the west side it was primarily just blue. Although we do have quite a few trails that interconnect the west side, but I almost wonder if it's because we just don't have amenities on the west side to bike or walk to. Is that kind of what you're thinking as well?
Yeah. It's not necessarily measured on the availability of infrastructure. It's more measured on how one would get to the amenity and if their path is burdened while arriving to that amenity. Would they have to take an ulterior path? Would they have to cross a busy street? Along those lines.
Thank you all for putting this together. And yeah, like Blake said, we look forward to working with it and seeing how we can dive in.
Yep. Thank you. This is great information, and as the council said, this is something we will be working much with in the future, so good information. Thank you very much. Thanks for your great hard work. So let's give them another hand.
Thanks for your time.
All right, that takes us to Citizens Forum. This is the opportunity to address the council on something that's not a part of tonight's agenda. Would anyone like to address the council at this time? All right. And seeing none, then we will move on. Item 5, the adoption of the minutes, first from the September 3 meeting.
So moved.
Motion by McBurney.
Second.
Second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote.
I'm sorry, who made the first on the motion?
McBurney moved.
Okay,
Rosendahl seconded.
thank you.
Yep. That passes. And then from the September 10 Lunch and Learn,
So moved.
motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 6 is the consent agenda. I would ask for motion to approve the balance, or remove item 6.7 from the consent agenda and then approve the balance.
So moved.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. All right, that passes. And then with regard to item 6.7, just simply to note that the original amended calendar had shown that we would move the lunch and learn to October 9 in October, and we're going to move that to October 7 on Monday, and that's what the revised ones has. So with that, I'd ask for a motion to that effect.
Motion to approve 6.7 with the adjustment to move the October lunch and learn to October 7.
Okay, motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right, item 7, public, to establish public hearings versus item 7.1, that's to establish October 1, 2024 as a public hearing regarding the surface and storm sewer water flowage vacation for Lot 8, Northview Estates Plat 4.
Motion to approve resolution 229-2024.
Okay, motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes. And then item 7.2 is to establish October 1, 2024 regarding the storm sewer and surface water flowage easement vacation for lots 16 and 21, Magnolia Heights, Plat 1.
Motion to approve Resolution 228-2024.
Motion by Kroll,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 8, regular agenda items versus item 8.1, and that is to consider the forgivable loan agreement for Kading Properties LLC. And I'll turn it over to our Economic Development Director, Aaron DeYoung. Aaron?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. City Council, Aaron DeYoung with the Economic Development Department. Here to present to you for your consideration a forgivable loan agreement with Kading Properties and with Madison Flats LLC, one of their subsidiaries, which will be hopefully purchasing the building at 3921 71st Street. Up here on the screen is the location map of that. So where Madison and 71st Street meet, it's then be the southeast corner, which is directly adjacent to Kading Properties location right there at 7008 Madison, there on the property. And then I took a Google Maps shot of the building, of one of the 3 buildings that are on that property. With this, the property is a little over 1.5 acres. It has 3 buildings on it. Currently, Kading has the property under contract for $650,000, which is more than what would, with the rents and things, is more, and so hence the request. Kading wants to reinvest in the property, one, to grow their operations in downtown Urbandale, and as the economic development guy, I'm like, yes, let's do that. And also with Kading being excited about the downtown Urbandale transformation with the master plan and things like that, to be able to add some retail commercial viability in the area as well as something that they desire to do with this. And if you don't believe me, we'll probably have Carrie or Chase come up and say a few words if they want to in that regard. So the request that was provided to city staff was to help and assist with $150,000 of funding to help purchase the property. This would be coming out of our downtown Urbandale assistance policy, and land assemblage is one of those allowable uses that was approved back in late 2022. So that's where this one would fall into. We've structured it as a forgivable loan so that there are some obligations from the developer to be able to achieve and then earn that forgiveness. And so we've pushed out loan payments in the agreement to January of 2028 to give that runway to achieve those commitments before having to start paying principal and interest. So to those kind of commitments or obligations to meet that forgiveness, one would be for Kading Properties to have 6,000 more square feet of office space for their operations in downtown. That would be either through rehabilitation of existing buildings on the property or through expansion of their current footprint that they have on their existing property, utilizing portions of this new property to help out with parking and or other parts of the development. Also to grow their employee count to up to 20 in downtown Urbandale. They're at 15 now, so 5 new jobs for that. Also, they're committing to renovate the existing building or, because these buildings are in pretty rough shape, constructing a new multi-story building on the property with at least 3,000 square feet of commercial retail space on the first floor of a multi-story building. And so also as Kading Properties, they are in the workforce housing space and doing that for lots of communities throughout central Iowa. Certainly there is a desire to see if multifamily could work on this property, but we don't really know because of the condition of the buildings, how that would work in an existing footprint basis, or how could it work through a full redevelopment. So what we've put in here is that if the property has multifamily on it, that there would be some affordability goals met in that, which, so 30% of the units would then, they would commit to renting at 80% of the area median income with that. So on the workforce housing type of tranche of the affordability spectrum. Wow, that was a quick presentation. Happy to answer any quick questions regarding those or any of the terms there. And also Katie Carrie, Katie, Ramsey, and Chase with Katie are here to be able to provide any color commentary or answer any questions as well. I butchered that. Sorry, Carrie.
All right. Any questions for Aaron on this? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve resolution 233-2024.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Kroll. Any further discussion? If not, please vote. All right, that passes. Guys, thank you very much. I mean, Kading Properties has been obviously a longtime family and corporate citizen of Urbandale, so thank you for your reinvestment in our community. And this is going to be great to see this property reinvested and rehabilitated. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. And thanks for your investment in Urbandale. We know you trust Urbandale, so we're glad to see you do this. So thank you. All right, we'll move on then to item 8.2. And that's to consider the purchase of the HVAC control software. And Scott or Jan will answer any questions on Jan. Scott's not here, but Jan's here.
Motion to approve Council Letter 7904.
Okay, motion by Kroll.
Second.
Second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 8.3 is a request to amend the comprehensive plan at 11000 Douglas Parkway, and to introduce this is our Community Development Director, Steve Franklin. Steve?
Thank you. Good evening, all. We have received a request from Dave Hansen, the owner of the property, Signature Real Estate, and Chris Pose, the legal counsel for the Iowa Sikh Association, requesting an amendment to the comprehensive plan for a parcel at 11,000 Douglas Avenue. Would note this is not a public hearing tonight, and we won't discuss the merits of the case tonight. What we really need from you is some direction based on Iowa Code Section 414.3, which indicates that once a comprehensive plan has been adopted, it can be amended by the city council at any time. That particular code section, and Maria obviously can add to this if you have questions, does not mention the Planning and Zoning Commission. However, we did a little bit of research. Staff went back and looked. It's unusual to have just a comprehensive plan amendment request, but in the situations where we have had that, it has been our practice to have both the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Council take action on that request. So therefore, staff's recommendation is to forward this to the Planning and Zoning Commission. They would review it, make a recommendation to you, and regardless of what their recommendation is, it would come back to council for action, as they are a recommending body to the city council. So would be happy to answer any questions.
All right.
If we were to send this to planning and zoning, what would be kind of the timeline for when we would see it next?
Generally, based on when we received it and still being able to publish notice, probably going to Planning and Zoning Commission about the October 14th meeting. And then we would notice again for the public hearing and probably coming to council. I think it's the November 19th, whatever that date is. I think it's the 19th is when it would come to council. That's the rough timeline we would probably look at.
And does it need like 3 readings, or is it just hearing and then take action?
Maria, we didn't talk about that particular issue, but it's an amendment to the comprehensive plan. So
Correct. So an amendment to the comprehensive plan would be adopted in the same format that the original comprehensive plan was adopted. So if that was adopted by resolution, it would be an amendment adopted by resolution. Probably if it was adopted by ordinance, same suit.
Hi, this is Bridget. I was just wondering if we so desired, could we take action on this tonight?
From a staff's perspective, I'll let Maria comment from the attorney perspective, or from staff's perspective, no.
This would be merely a referral to the planning and zoning for tonight, right?
Correct. The agenda item is a procedural one for tonight.
Chris, did you want to, I'll recognize Chris Pose, the counsel for the applicant, if you'd like to comment on that.
My name is Chris Pose. My office address is 505 Fifth Avenue, Suite 1005. I was at 6th Avenue for so many years that I just keep repeating that address, whether I'm there or not. So I think we defer to you on what procedure you'd like to follow for it. If the council wanted to take action tonight, it wouldn't be by public hearing or any of those things, if that's indeed what the council wants to do. I do think it's only one meeting, though, because I do think you adopt the comprehensive plan by resolution. I don't think it's an ordinance kind of thing. So we'd like to find any way that we can to bring this to a conclusion as well. We're trying to solve a problem we're presently having at your City Board of Adjustment, and the comprehensive plan and our estimate would do that.
Make a motion to approve Council Letter 7910.
Okay, motion by Kroll. Second. Second by Rosendahl. Any further discussion? If not, please vote. That passes. All right, thank you. So that will be referred to P&Z and then come back to the council based on the recommendation from P&Z. All right, item 8.4 is consider the resolution of support for the referendum to increase the board membership of the Dallas County Board of Supervisors. AJ, were you going to cover this, sir?
Through the efforts of many throughout the communities that are in Dallas County, the petition was submitted to the Dallas County Board of Supervisors, and that they have placed this on the next general election for consideration of increasing the number of board members from 3 to 5. This resolution would indicate the council's support for that action. Obviously, it will be submitted for voter approval. I know Councilmember Carberry Montgomery was very active in this. Well over 5,000 votes, 5,000 signatures for a petition to place this on the ballot were submitted to the Dallas County Supervisors, and from those petitions, action taken by the board to establish this vote. And again, this would increase the number of board supervisors from 3 to 5. Again, this resolution would indicate your support for such action.
All right.
Motion to approve Council Letter 7911.
Motion by Kroll. Second. Second by McBurney. Larry beat you to it. Sorry, Bridget. Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That item passes. All right, Mayor and Council items. Item 9. First, before I go around the dais, I do want to, and we do have the one resolution, and I'm first going to read the resolution, and I want to make some comments after that. So this is a resolution. It sounds pretty ominous when I read it, but this is a very good tribute. So that's why I want to read it first, and then I'm going to put in some comments on this. So Bob, you're on, and I hope you're listening well right now, right? So I am, Mr. Mayor. All right, thanks, great. So the ominous sounding part of this is a resolution to remove the appointment of Bob Layden as city attorney of the city of Urbandale, Iowa. But trust me, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a positive thing. Whereas the municipal code of the city of Urbandale, Iowa, chapter 31.095 establishes the city attorney position, and that said position shall be appointed by the majority vote of the council. And whereas Iowa Code section 372.115 says that except as otherwise provided by state or city law, all persons appointed for city office may be removed by the officer or body making the appointment, but every such removal shall be by written order. And whereas City Attorney Layden was appointed at the August 24, 1979 City Council meeting, and has provided 45 years of professional services as the city attorney. City Attorney Layden has brought a deep understanding of municipal law, has provided sound legal advice, negotiated complex transaction, and has defended the city of Urbandale unwaveringly for over 4 decades. City Attorney Bob Layden has asked the City Council to transition out of the position of City Attorney for the City of Urbandale to pursue other opportunities. Now, therefore, I, Robert Andwiggs, Mayor of the City of Urbandale, and resolved by the City Council of the City of Urbandale that Bob Layden is removed as the City Attorney as of September 30, 2024, and the Council thanks him for his professionalism, his steadfastness, and his dedication to the community. And so that's the official resolution. So I would want to make a few comments. I've known Bob my entire legal career. I've known Bob obviously ever since I was involved with the city of Urbandale, because 45 years, I have not been involved in the city of Urbandale for 45 years. So I think, Bob, you have the record of that. But what the resolution says, only touches the surface of what Bob's done for our community. He has truly been unwavering. He's been a steady rock on all our legal issues. I'm a lawyer, he's a lawyer's lawyer. I mean, when there are times when I've gotten a little upset in meetings, Bob's a very calming and steady influence and can see through very difficult issues and guide this community through some very tough times. So Bob, I can't say enough, everything you've done for us and for our community through the years. Our staff loves you, the elected officials have loved you through the years, so we truly thank you for all your support and all your guidance and all your legal representation of us through these 45 years. Let's give him a round of applause. Now I'm going to turn it over to you, Bob, if you'd like to make some comments.
I do, just briefly. Mr. Mayor and members of the council, I do want to thank the mayor, all of the councils that I work with. I want to thank the city manager. I want to really thank all the staff members over the years. And I can honestly say it's really been the highlight of my legal career to represent the city of Urbandale. Quite frankly, I never thought I'd be here 45 years later. And I was thinking about it today. I've been to over 1,100 meetings. And I haven't really hardly missed any, although the last couple of years I've had some issues that I've been dealing with. But I truly mean it from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank everybody for all of their unwavering support throughout all these years. And I want to say a personal comment, you couldn't be in better hands than Maria. And I mean that. Passing the torch to Maria is just really terrific for me. She's been, I've known her, a number of years, and the city has made a very wise decision. And I know Maria's going to do a terrific job. So again, I appreciate all the kind words, Mr. Mayor, and all of the council. So thank you so much for everything.
Well, thank you so much, Bob. Thank you so much. All right, with that, is there a motion for the resolution?
Motion to approve Resolution 237-2024.
Motion by Kroll.
Second.
Second.
Bernie, sorry, Bridget, you're just, that delay in the video is just a little bit too slow, sorry. Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. All right, that passes. Thank you again, Bob. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, that does take us to mayor and council items. Bridget, for the delay, I'll give you the first shot at commenting tonight. So I know thank you for being online and thank you for hanging in there. I know you're not yet, you're not at the top of your game, but we appreciate you coming on and joining us tonight. So.
And we appreciate you being virtual.
Yes.
Well, I think you said everything very well and eloquently about Attorney Bob, not Mayor Bob, but Attorney Bob, because, we got to distinguish them. So I just thank you, Attorney Bob, for your many years of service and your commitment to Urbandale. I hesitate to think what the population was back then in 1979, but, you've got us through turbulent times, but you've also tremendous growth and positive growth as well. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy what is next.
Thank you. Thank you.
A couple of interesting things coming up that I'm going to be attending. Thursday is the Project Uplift and Capitol Crossroads community conversation on housing needs. I think that invitation has gone around, but I saw it came out again. I think today that's from 10 to 12 in Johnston. And then another invitation that I got recently from DMARC was a community conversation on the portrait of a pantry visitor, which is next Wednesday from 1:30 to 3. Let me know if you didn't receive that invitation, and I will forward that on to you. I think it sounds like a very interesting conversation. And then obviously last week was full of all things DART for me and Bob and everyone. Lots going on. I think we are looking at actually simultaneously as we move forward with our reimagined DART process, also possibly doing real mediation between the city of Des Moines and the suburbs to figure out a path forward, because I don't think anyone really wants to see any sort of final resolution on DART, but everything is moving forward very quickly, and I'm always will keep you updated. So, and that is my dog, who's really excited about the public social media questions that were posed today about the leash law. So, because she really likes to be her best, and she does best when everyone is on their leash. So thank you to getting that question out there in the public for folks to comment on. So I realized that was a little weird the way I did that, but she was barking. So anyway, that's what you get from home, Bridget. So I think that's all I got.
All right. Thanks, Bridget. Amy?
Oh, also, Sample Urbandale, another fantastic event. Chamber did a great job, and congratulations to former council member Mary Polson for her induction. I believe that was her award that she received.
Yep,
So,
the Hall of Fame.
thank you.
All right, thanks. Amy?
She took the only thing I had, so I'm done.
Okay. Blake?
I'll echo Bridget with the Sample Urbandale. Great evening. Congratulations to the businesses and the community members honored. It's also apparently, I did not realize it, National Voter Registration Day today.
Yeah.
So tell your friends, tell your neighbors. There's a little election coming up. So, and then I just wanted to ask, last meeting, we had gotten a request for a stop sign at Dennis and 75th, and I just wanted to check to see if there was any updates on evaluating that or anything.
I have this relatively blank look on my face, so I'll say no. We'll get back
Okay.
to you. Dennis and 75th. I can't recall that, but thank you.
Yep.
We will look into it.
That's all I got.
All right, Larry?
Well, Blake stole what I had on National Voter Registration Day, but thank you. One other thing I do want to call out is we received a compliment from Cheryl Jensen, who had a request for the city of Urbandale, and Cheyenne Thomas, who is a relatively new employee, came out and responded immediately to her request, and she was just elated with the professionalism and the promptness of responding to her request, and she's going to be following up with a more detailed email to all of us on the council, but I just wanted to publicly recognize it. So it just goes to show how awesome the employees are that we bring into the city of Urbandale.
All right, thanks, Larry. All right, and just for the record, Bridget, I think staff calls Bob Layden Legal Bob. Yeah, so he's Legal Bob, I'm Mayor Bob, and but when Bob Layton was here, he was city manager Bob. So I think, but Bob Layton is officially known as Legal Bob.
I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Yes, that is what Christy called him when we.
Legal Bob.
So I messed that up. But Attorney Bob, Legal Bob, you got to keep all the Bobs straight.
Yep, that's
So
right.
I can't imagine when the city manager was named Bob too. So that had to be a legal mess.
Yeah, it was confusing. Just a few items for me. Sample Urbandale, again, a great event for our community. Great to recognize some good folks that are quietly doing things in our community. And that's what's, I think, the hallmark of Urbandale is we try to find folks that are quietly doing things and making a difference, impacting positively our residents every day. So great recognition for some folks. We had MAC this morning. I don't know, Amy and I were both at MAC. We had a great discussion on a lot of different topics moving forward, including affordable housing, transit, legislative issues moving forward, budget issues. Is there anything else you want to
Dun,
add?
dun, dun. Trick or treat.
Trick or treat, yes. So the consensus is after, Windsor Heights has already moved its Beggars Night to the last Saturday in October, and so has Bondurant. So the consensus was after this year, we're not going to try to confuse folks this year, so we'll still keep Beggars Night October 30 for this year. But after we get past that, in early November, the entire metro area is going to put out a poll for the residents to ask, would you like to consider, or should we consider moving Beggars Night to the last Saturday in October? So
Or what's your first choice, your second?
first choice and second choice, so yes. So that very weighty issue of Beggars Night we discussed for some time today.
Or, yes, an incredibly long amount of time.
So we had that. I was not able to make the Reimagine Dart, but I know AJ and Bridget were both on that today, and I'll continue to have some part of that as well as we discuss that. I will just to note, I think I've told you numerous times, I will be leaving early tomorrow morning to go to the Iowa League of Cities meeting in Sioux City for 3 days, so I'll be up in Sioux City. We have the meeting Thursday night here, so the public information session regarding Aurora. Amy will be covering a couple of ribbon cuttings tomorrow night and Thursday night. I'll be the one. We have 3 ribbon cuttings this week, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Amy's got the 2 covered on Wednesday and Thursday, and I'll be there for Friday. So I think that's it. So unless there's anything else for the good of the order, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.